It's a track many of these drivers had never seen before this week, and a point situation that many of these drivers wished they'd never see come to fruition. Jason Cooper keeps his streak alive of winning exactly half of the races to this point as we enter the Napa Valley, and the points show it. Sam Smith and Craig Schiller are on the cusp of running away with their own titles, but Sonoma just might reach out and change that. We'll see as time goes on today and as things change throughout the course of the afternoon and into the evening. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Sonoma Raceway. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa alongside, and JP, Knock Hill Reverse is fittingly behind us, meaning we can focus on this exciting swing of American rounds the rest of the season. 7 weeks to go, and they are all on American circuits.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic challenge. Obviously, last week we kind of focused every single round, apart from Daytona, if I'm not mistaken, on British soil. Now we're coming into a full-on American, I guess you could say, schedule, part of the schedule. And obviously, it's going to start at Sonoma. I guess, Andrew, on the iRacing side, in my opinion, it might be considered an understated, I guess, track. It's definitely underused, in my opinion. But I'm pretty sure these boys are going to have an absolute blast on this fantastic race course.
Absolutely, Sonoma is grossly underused. In fact, grossly underused was exactly where I wanted to go with things. It's a fantastic race course. It's used in the NASCAR, in the NASCAR Cup Series and now the NASCAR Truck Series, beginning in 2022. It's just a good place to go racing, and it gets used on the more NASCAR-ified leagues and circuits on iRacing. But when it comes to more road racing-based schedules, they tend to leave it out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a shame. I feel like this race course is just so fantastic. It produces amazing races. It has a lot of challenges. Obviously, it's very different from the modern circuits that we have, like Red Bull Ring that we just had on NARL. But, you know, it's just unforgiving. It has a lot of elevation changes. It has so many different layouts that you can go in. Well, each and every single one of them has their challenges. And yeah, it's just a fantastic race course, Andrew. I love it. Unfortunately, I cannot race it, but I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm going to be happy enough just commentating on it.
I know we talk about Red Bull Ring and Sonoma, for example, being very different, but I actually think those two courses are relatively similar. I think you see a lot of what Sonoma embodies in a lot of tracks like Red Bull Ring that kind of keep that classic vibe. It is definitely in a classic American race course, just like places like Watkins Glen, Road Atlanta, VIR, those kinds of racetracks where you build the racetrack to follow the course of the land, to follow the lay of the land. It's exactly what they did here at Sonoma Raceway, and of course it was known as Sears Point and Finion Raceway in years past, but it really is everything that an American race course should be. I think with the elevation change, the sweepers, the tight corners, there's technical parts. It's got everything you need in a racing course, and certainly is set up to be a fantastic place to go racing today. You can see the sim is rather foggy. We'll just let that be for the moment, but here's a look at the Sonoma Raceway. We are on the shorter layout, the Cup Historic layout here on iRacing.com. Turn 1 turns you up towards the hill, JP. Turn 2 brings you up over the hill. Then it's 3A down to turn 4, that really sharp right-hander. I know it's not quite 90 degrees, so it doesn't look that sharp on paper, but when you factor in the curbing there on the inside of the corner and the curbing on the outside, how easy it is to hit that wall as we look at it here in turn 4, it is very, very difficult before you head down the chute to turn 5.
Absolutely. Obviously, it's a small straightaway between 4 and 5, and then, well, turn 5, it kind of sets you up already into the S's, which I really like, and obviously that's going to be a big point where we might see a lot of different in pace, because if you just make a single mistake on even 6, 7, or 8, you're just going to be losing a lot. And then obviously as you exit the S's on turn number 10, you really need to be careful to not go over the dirt, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. And then obviously, Andrew, the hairpin, turn 11, where you can really make a lot of inroads. We might see a few bumpers being used like they are in NASCAR. And then obviously the final corner, turn 12, should be relatively flat out. But yeah, that's just one lap. We make it sound simple, Andrew, but I think it's very far from that.
I know some drivers in the Discord chat have already questioned how they're going to pass. Well, the NASCAR answer is simply use the bumper, especially in the hairpin, and I think we're going to see some of that. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some big moves into turn 5 as well. Turn 4 is relatively single file, but we'll probably see a little bit of side-by-side action, especially on the starts of these races. We've got to go all the way back to turn 2, where this field is definitely going to find themselves in a bit of trouble. There are going to be some cars that miss turn 2, especially up the inside. We're going to see some spills in that corner, and I think we've got to prepare ourselves now for it. It's going to be a mess, I think, at least a couple of times in turn 2. If they do make it out of turn 4 and 5, those are the next couple of opportunities to look at before the field really strings out through the S's, and you'll have some big moves, of course, throughout the entirety of racing in the hairpin. Let's take a look at the standings that I was talking about as qualifying comes down to a close. Only 2 minutes to go in the session, but you can see Jason Cooper 218 points clear of James Neve, and it gets worse from there. He has got a massive lead on this field, all the way down to 317 down to Tom Griffiths inside the top 10, and down to the 10th pro driver, it's 370 down to James Clark.
Yeah, it's an incredible gap that he has. I think he's very comfortable in it. I guess you cannot argue against him. Obviously, the Pro-Am side, the gap is quite big, Andrew, but I feel like he can shift quite a lot between Smith and Tulo. And obviously, they're quite far away as well. Nearly 100 points between Tulo and Schroer. So it's quite spread out. On the amateur side, it's nice to see 2 now amateur drivers on the top 20, which is Craig Schill and Alistair Hatcher. They're only separated by, what, less than 40 points? So quite close, and I think we're going to see this table really shifting quite a lot.
And these guys will also be shifting quite a lot in the cars, of course, as we take a look at the circuit. And they'll be shifting a lot through the rest of this series. You can see Elkhart Lakes, Road America, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Watkins Glen International, Michelin Racer Road Atlanta, Daytona International Speedway, and Sebring International Raceway to round out the season. So we begin this kind of string of America here on April the 12th, today, and this will end on May 24th. So, yeah, a month and a half here of American racing. So you better be ready. Go ahead and strap in, get ready for it. It's going to be a wild time down through the rest of the season. No surprise, though, that Jason Cooper is fastest in qualifying. That's exactly what we expect. Car number 1, he's out there. Let's just go ahead and look through some of the rest of the field. As far as your amateur battle, JP, Craig Schill is still in that amateur class, and he is once again quickest. That said, he's, looks like about a half a second clear of Alistair Hatcher. That's nothing too crazy. When he gets down to race pace, that won't be all that crazy at all.
No, absolutely not. Obviously, when race pace, you're going to get bunched up on the first few laps, and you might find difficulty overtaking as Alistair, just showing how difficult it is, Andrew, to get grip outside of turn number 1. We have Liam Stimson as well. Looks like he's
We only have a few Pro-Ams in the entire field. Liam Stimson is fastest of them. There's only one other Pro-Am that's taken a time. That's Glenn Humberstone in 18th. Behind that, it's Julian Schroer, Sam Smith, Liam Silkstone, and Thor Tullo. None of them have taken times. There's only a few amateur drivers as well. I saw, let's see, Fiona Siddons is on the racetrack. She's out of the hairpin.
Let's see if she can improve her lap time. Currently sitting at 125, taking quite a bit of a wider line. This is going to be an improvement. Yes, by 0.3 of a second. That's an improvement actually. So moves up, I think, 1 position. But so far, 2.7 seconds, and not the greatest qualifying sessions we've seen so far.
Alistair is on track through turn 10. I see Chris Knox has gone faster recently, up to 6th for Chris. Cooper and Casper are out there on the track together. And Alistair into the final corner now through the hairpin. We'll see if car 964 can go any faster. What do you think here, JP?
I think we're not going to see an improvement from Alistair. I would like to be wrong, and unfortunately I am right. So yeah, unfortunately Alistair cannot improve. Still has time for 1 lap. Cooper still out on the racetrack. This doesn't look like his full pace. And Andrew, the top 3, we aren't too surprised, are we?
No, not at all. 5-Star Motorsport controlling things once again. That is absolutely the least surprising thing we'll say all day. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather, which might be a little surprising. 65 degrees in the air. That's not that crazy. But I'm quite surprised, actually, by the amount of fog here in virtual Napa Valley, California. Did not expect this to start the day.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's the first time that I think we covered a foggy Sonoma, if I'm not mistaken. Each and every single other time was either cloudy or very sunny. So an interesting challenge for these guys. So an unknown racing circuit with, well, quite a foggy one. I guess it's kind of the British weather mixing in with the desert, Andrew. Has to be.
That's one way to look at it. It is very gray. Gray and a little bit of red out there. It does not look great, does it? But we've got some racing on the way. 25 cars, it looks like, checking in this afternoon for round number 4 this season. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid. On pole, you've got Jason Cooper. No surprise. This is, he's going to win the championship, right? Unless he drops out of the series now, maybe. Casper DeCourt will go second here in qualifying. James Cooper. Lars Fisher, there we go. We'll start from the 3rd spot. Adam Delmont's in 4th. Andrew McEwen rolls off 5th today in the car 4. Chris Knox there in car 23 will roll off from 6th. Starting 7th, it's Lee Holmes. 8th, Adam McNally. And to complete on a surprising pro top 10, it is Nick Clibbins and James Neve.
Yeah, we haven't said that too often. Ben Sharp's going to finish 11th. He's going to start 11th. Michael Seal is going to start 12th place alongside of him. 13th place will go the ways of Liam Stimson. So, Andrew, we have to look all the way down to 13th place to find the first Pro-Am and down to 14th to find the first Am as Craig Schill lines up alongside him. Row number 8 is going to start on the... 8 is going to start on the inside with the driver of the number 20, which is James Clark. Alongside him, Alistair Hatcher in 16th place. 17th place will go the ways of Duncan Cope. Alongside him, Fiona Siddons. 19th place will go to Glenn Humberstone. And alongside him, for Tulo.
Starting 21st, it's Sam Smith, your Pro-Am points leader. Then it's Nathan Davies in 22nd. Mark Oliver starts from 23rd. Julian Shore 24th. And Liam Silkstone will start shotgun on the field from the 25th position in car 594. Looks like we're waiting on 3 cars. Michael Seal, Duncan Cope, no, now just 2, as it looks like Alistair Hatcher makes it to his car. And it looks like we have red lights, which means green lights are on the way for race 1 at Sonoma. Sitting trackside from our speed shot, waiting on the green flag. A green flag flies. Race 1 is underway. A surprisingly safe turn 2 for the first lap for these guys here at Sonoma. Side by side there, it's Delmont up the inside of Fisher, and McEwen's going to go for a spin.
Oh, he's going to spin around, he's going to hold it, so I don't think he's going to be collecting anyone. No, he doesn't. He collects, it looks like, a bit of the tire barrier, but the rest of the field, Andrew, everybody kind of calm, everybody kind of taking their own time, which is really good to see. We have a few battles going side by side, but looks like so far up in the front remains unchanged. The rest of the field, though, they're single file.
Into the S's now for the first time. It's Jason Cooper, Casper DeCourt, Lars Fisher, Adam Delmont, and some crashing behind. Sam Smith is in it. There's the Excite 527. Glenn Humberstone stopped as well. Looks like more cars were a little bit slow. McNally and Clibbin swap spots. Liam Stimson, your Pro-Am pole sitter, already in trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be... it's heartbreaking to have your ace turn around on its head on the first lap as you have here. Looks like a battle for 3rd place might erupt into a battle of 2nd. Looks like Adam Delmont just went down the inside of the hairpin. You can see a few extra drivers going side by side. Up in the front, Andrew, Jason Cooper still leads. The 2 teammates kind of helping each other, so it looks like Delmont would just have to wait his time.
Delmont now waiting behind Casper DeCourt. These 2 swap positions for Fisher and DeCourt. And now Chris Knox joining them in that 23 car. Go on board with car 23 and just watch how this one goes. I really enjoy the elevation change, the curbing here at Sonoma. You can use the curb in your advantage. Some tracks, it's a detriment. Here at Sonoma, I think it helps you.
Yeah, it helps. Obviously, I guess with the... I guess you can say a little bit underpowered MX-5, it might make it a little bit easier. There we go. As you have a couple of cars spun around on the exit of turn 1, it looks like someone just did a beautiful 360.
That was impressive.
That was almost like Charles Leclerc on his debut year in Formula 1. That was beautiful. That was... Wait, who's...
Nathan Davies, car 22.
Nathan Davies. Yeah, there you go. So Nathan, really good job on the 360. I don't think he carried a lot of damage as well. So, yeah, good job for him. It looks like the teammates are still battling quite close. Delmont definitely wants them to go closer, though.
Watching here, the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Andy McEwen has dropped down to 20th position. Duncan Cope, 21st. And Nathan Davies is slow again. This is back through the S's now. And he drops down to the 21st spot. Cope goes on by. Well, I think the Brits have found their way to America. They've definitely been, how do I put this, warmed up to American racing in a weird way. Not the way they would have wanted. Sam Smith makes a pass here on Fiona Siddons. This is for 17th across the line. And now McEwen gets to watch.
McEwen's going to have a good look, probably going to look down the inside. Not going to make it 3 wide. I don't think it's too crazy. He definitely tried to get both of them, but you can see just on the inside, even though you get a little bit of the edge on the exit, you can see you're just underpowered. They're still going to go side by side through turn 2, and yeah, McEwen's just going to have to back off, trying to get a good cutoff line, and that's exactly what he does.
So out of 3 and 3A, a good move there from McEwen out of turn 4, and car number 4 moves up to the 18th position. Lars Fischer, Casper to Court, still very close. This is through the S's now. As Casper to Court works to set his teammate back up, and Jason Cooper is 2 seconds clear of the two of them. Just 4 minutes into this race, he's already opened up one heck of a gap. That guy, he's just insane.
We've seen, Andrew, we've seen some drivers being promoted from Pro-Am to M. Do we have a class above Pro?
Can we make a Jason Cooper class? Just, you know what? Champ Car. The Champ Car Endurance Series, it runs here in the United States, particularly along the East Coast, but out to the Midwest, and I think even maybe a West Coast race or two. They have a class for cars that are just way too fast, but they still want to show up and race on that race weekend. You know what it's called? Exception class. EC. It's just, it's above all else. They don't run for points. I think Jason Cooper is an exception driver. I think he should be in the ED class.
Yeah, worst case scenario, he can be the pace car driver if we do it.
Start
having. Yeah, that would. I mean, you'd be pretty fast, to be honest, as a pace car driver as well.
Can we force him to start from the pits every race? Does that work?
That could work, actually. All right, Jason's probably going to hate us after watching this.
I think he does.
Yeah. All right, anyway, he's doing a fantastic job. Currently sitting at 1.9 seconds. So there we go. He's losing a little bit of time. He's probably watching in the background and deciding to back off. Meanwhile, Ben Sharp still chasing Adam McNally. This is for the 7th position. They're currently sitting 0.6 of a second apart as they exit the S's on the final part. I think he's too far away to make a move down into the hairpin, Andrew, but if he gets a good line just like this one, he's really going to be approaching McNally.
And Michael Seals just had a problem. He drops behind James Clark and now Liam Silkstone. Seal might have gone off track there and had a bit of a time getting back on. But as far as the Ben Sharp situation, he's not been here in several weeks. He's got to go up there. He's got to try and rough it up with Jason Cooper, Lars Fischer, Casper Court, as Lee Holmes surprisingly goes purple that lap.
Yeah, Lee's absolutely pushing. He's trying to get to Chris Knox ahead of him. He's kind of close, but he needs to get closer if he wants to move. And obviously at this point, Andrew, he really needs to push because as you can see ahead of him, there's a possible 2nd place up for grabs. So, you know, if he can get close enough and pick them one by one, he could very well finish best of the rest behind Jason Cooper. But you can see all of them ahead are pushing to the limit.
Down to turn 5, you see Delmont here working on the 5 to court. Chris Knox close behind. I think these 4 might be some of our best battles the entire day, to be honest with you, JP. They immediately got into this little line. They've stayed in this little line, and it seems like Lars might be just a little bit slower than Casper, so it's keeping them bunched up. And I really do wonder how much the draft is going to play into effect here at Sonoma. Obviously, drafting with Miatas, that's a big thing, but here at Sonoma, there's a lot of ways that you can break that draft as Delmont goes wide.
Yeah, obviously going wide is going to hurt a bit of your chances and really allow the rest of the cars to pack up. But yeah, Andrew, it's kind of difficult, especially in a short track like this. You really, I guess if we were using the loop on the inside of the racing course, we'd have a 2nd straightaway that you can really draft. But this one, the start-finish straight, turn 12 is just, well, I guess you can say it's just a straightaway with a little bit of a bend because they're really going flat out. So just need to maximize entry and exit. And obviously when you're running such a high class with these drivers, that's really a challenge sometimes.
On board now with with Lars Fischer looking back at Casper to Court. A few cars out of the race. Well, I say a few. There are 2 cars out of the race, Alistair Hatcher and Glenn Humberstone. Up over the turn 4 curbing, very close to that wall. You can see Lars Fischer. He's using all the racetrack that he can. And a problem now for Julian Schroer is, oh, look at Casper get real close through 5, right at the apex. Let's see, is Casper torn, or not Casper, is Julian torn up? The car looks okay. Thankfully here at Sonoma, there's a lot of places to spin, JP, without hitting anything.
Yeah, obviously that's a big advantage of the racing course. You really have quite a lot of escape room, and yeah, that's just going to make your life a little bit easier in case you do spin around. Now we're going to take a look at exactly what happened to Schroer. It looks like this is uphill into turns number 1. Does he go a little bit too quick into one? No, that's on the apex. Oh, on the exit, Andrew. So I guess just using a little bit of that curb and getting the car unsettled before going on a power, that just about did it for him.
it's quite easy to spin out in turn 2. That's definitely a focus corner for starts of these races. It's very easy to spin. It's very easy to set it up the inside and create dive bombs. It's just a difficult corner as they come into 2 now, and Casper the Court sideways there, backs up to Adam Delmont a little bit. Do want to shout out Logan Detweiler out in the chat. Glad that we have some of you guys tuning in and some of that crossover as well. I know Logan came over with the Norkai Racing series and such, and it's good to see guys tuning into other leagues and whatnot, as BSR has honestly found it. Stay here, Pit Stop TV. That was close.
Yeah, they're pushing to the limits, all of them. They're absolutely not afraid to bend the car if they're doing it pushing. And yeah, this is just going to make it a little bit more interesting when the move comes. I mean, I don't know, Andrew. I would say it has to be on the hairpin, but I'm pretty sure each and every single opportunity it opens, these guys are going to have to take it.
One thing to consider is, with stock cars here at Sonoma, you have a lot of braking zones, a lot of, at the very least, off-throttle time. You don't have as much here with Miatas as, here we go, a move maybe from Delmont, looking at the outside of Casper, and Casper outbrakes himself. And he's going to go wide at the corner and back himself up to Chris Knox. Easy pass there for Adam Delmont. All he had to do was show his nose, and he had that spot. That is textbook there from Adam McNally. That was really good.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm not pretty sure if you caught it, Andrew, but I'm pretty sure the headlights just turned on the entry of the hairpin. So now we have a bit of headlight action. So this should make it a little bit more interesting and visually pleasing, at least in my eyes. But yeah, Delmont, a really good move, forced Casper into a mistake, and well, that's all he needed. Now he has another 5-time motorsport driver ahead of him, this time the number 96.
I said, oh my goodness, Delmont out wide there at 3A, comes over the hill, Casper takes a look, but nothing of it. I said McNally made that move, that was Delmont. McNally is battling pretty spiritedly with Ben Sharp as Casper DeCourt back up the inside of turn 5, gonna take that spot back away maybe, as they pop up over the curbing. Delmont takes that spot back away from them now.
Yeah, wow, really good battle between those two. You can see how close Casper is, pretty much making contact right there, trying to force the number 77 into a mistake just like he was forced the lap before, but the number 77 absolutely not budging whatsoever. Now on the approach to the hairpin, is anyone gonna go wide? Looks like Delmont went a little bit too wide, dips 2-wheel into the gravel trap. Can Casper DeCourt try to do something maybe around the outside? An aggressive close of the door, and unfortunately that did not work out for him.
Casper just turned in on him. I don't know where he was going with that, as McNally and Sharp make some big moves here. You see James Neve in this battle as well. I don't know where Casper was going there. For once, Casper DeCourt, I don't know what he was doing. He just turned in.
I'm pretty sure what he was doing, he's just trying to force Delmont into the apex to get a good run on the outside. Unfortunately, that did not work. Now, take a look at these two, Andrew, coming up the hill into turn number 1. Will we see them going side by side in the apex? Yes, we will. And, well, they're still going side by side. That's McNally in Sharp battle for 7th place. Looks like McNally might just hold it. Yes, he will, but Sharp, look for him on the exit of 4 on the 3A. And nothing yet. But they're really close as well, Andrew.
Oh, Ben Sharp in the grass there, braking. That was close. Is Ben going to go up the inside of turn 5? He takes a look for a moment and sticks back in behind him. This is good stuff with these two. This is why I really enjoy when Ben Sharp makes the field. He makes things exciting. Doesn't matter what kind of battle it is. It could be for last place in the race, but he's going to make it exciting, even if it's in the pit lane. I'm sure he'd get out of his car somehow, some way in iRacing and find a way to run down pit lane. He just makes these nice little battles fun to watch, and definitely doing so here with Adam McNally as they work through turn 10 now. Tries to set that slide almost through the corner. Can't quite do it there. McNally with the run to the hairpin. Does he look in? Yeah, I mean, he's poking his nose just the same as Delmont did to Casper, but obviously he's not going to make a move from that far back. That was far too far back to think about a move. Chris Knox working on Adam Delmont, though, might be close enough for turn 2.
Yeah, this might get interesting. Could we see a move? I would like to see a move up into turn number 2, but looks like... yeah, he really gets the nose in on the early apex. Delmont kind of left him a bit of room over there. And, well, you can't do that really with Chris Knox. I'm pretty sure he will take each and every single opportunity. That battle between Delmont and Casper DeCourt really allowed Lars Fischer to create a bit of a gap. And, well, that's exactly what Chris Knox needs. Exactly what Delmont didn't want. That was really close to the barrier, Andrew. I think with 1 minute 40, Chris is putting everything on the table.
Chris Knox is really going to work here on the back end of the 77 car of Delmont. This is really good driving, I gotta say. These guys are hanging on to it, and I like that there's just enough room for these guys to do this and hang on to the cars, be it, you know, even putting a wheel off in the dirt or just using the width of the racetrack. There is plenty of racing room, especially in these smaller Miatas. This has me excited for the touring cars on Thursday. It looks like they can, you know, beat and bang it around a little bit, throw the cars around, and still have room to race.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like seeing this as well from them. And yeah, it just gets me more excited, not only for the touring cars, Andrew, but for the other 3 races we might have, especially with the inverts. But yeah, Chris, Andrew, with 1 minute to go, that's 2 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken, as we have even more action right here. Nick Clibbins and James Neve looks like they're going side by side through 12. And yes, we are in the final lap of the race.
So white flag is out, presented by Whiplash Simcams. A few battles on the racetrack. Here's one of them, James Neve and Nick Clibbins. Michael Seal as well has just taken a spot, or is battling here with Liam Silkstone. Lost a spot to the Pro-Am driver. And Duncan Cope and Fiona Siddons are very close. Up front, though, Jason Cooper running away with this one through turn 4. And he's going to come down to turn number 5 with nobody in sight. He's got 2.5 seconds back to Lars Fischer, who's got 2 seconds back to Adam Delmont. And oh boy, look at that. Delmont with Delmont gets past, but pulls the crossover to turn 5. We've seen that before in NASCAR races. Chris Knox can't hang on to that one. McNally and Sharp now battle through turn 5. McNally loses that spot to Ben Sharp.
Oh, Ben really closing the door. Really good to see McNally try to hold it until the last meter, but unfortunately he's going to have to drop away from the number 24. Really close still. He's definitely going to be trying something. Will Chris Knox try to something? You can see, oh, Delmont went really wide. That's really going to compromise him. He goes defensive. Chris Knox is going to look to the outside. He kind of unsettles the car under braking. He might come under threat.
Look at Lee Holmes.
From what, Lee Holmes? Yes, Chris Knox unfortunately backfires from him. They're going to drag race. Looks like Ben Sharp is going to be holding. Cooper is going to win the race. Lars Fischer is going to finish second. Looks like Chris Knox just beats Lee Holmes to the finish.
Very close there at the line between cars 23 and 35. Sharp hangs onto that spot over McNally, over Neve, over Clibbins. What a last lap.
Fantastic.
So that's what we have to expect now for the rest of today. We've got to have battles like that coming down to the last couple of corners on the last lap here at Sonoma, and everything about this course sets up for it. The hairpin at the end, of course, a fantastic opportunity for exactly what we just saw. Julian Schroer, one of the final cars, come across the line, though. It looks like we've got about 5 more to finish, maybe 6 on down to Liam Stimson, and something happened on that lap, JP, to Andy McEwen. He will not finish this race.
Oh, he's going to be heartbreaking with McEwen. Yeah, he was already, well, a bad luck in race number 1, so I guess he just finished in the worst way possible. I wonder, Andrew, he's going to be, I mean, he's going to be eligible for the invert still, right?
Should be. As Mark Oliver and Nathan Davies with the final couple of cars to finish this race. Oliver, I think, is in the pit lane, oddly enough. Davies as well. They might have just gone 1 lap down. Doesn't show them as a lap down, but I think they might have gone a lap down. As Stimson comes across slowly, there might be Oliver. Where is Nathan Davies in all of this? Is he not a lap? I thought he is in the pit lane. Huh.
That is odd.
Big one that we got to go back and find, though, is going to be Andy McEwen. Fantastic in the touring cars lately, and he's going to take an early exit here out of race number 1. Had a good week at, well, we just saw kind of a snippet of what we're going to see here in a minute, but had a good week last week at Knock Hill overall. We'll see what he does here. This must be through the S's, I would imagine. Oh my goodness.
What?
Similar to Knock Hill's little sand grab, I guess. Just got out there a little too close to that wall and got stuck. Let's see it from the onboard.
Oh. That is heartbreaking.
I don't really have anything for that. I really don't in this game.
I don't think anyone has it. Well, imagine.
Can you imagine this car behind? Who is that? Sam Smith, maybe? Yeah.
I think actually they made a little bit of contact.
I think so, because you see McEwen's car get hit afterwards. This is Sam Smith following McEwen, thinking everything's gonna be all right, and oh my.
Whoa. He got lucky though.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So in the opposite way of McEwen, Smith, oh, he just came out unscathed.
Wow. Unfortunately, that's how McEwen's race will end on the final lap, and that's all she wrote for car number 4. Let's go ahead and bring up our spinny wheel then, JP, and get ready to go ahead and find our first invert of the day. It's always fun to do the spinny wheel. Always fun to find out. We got a few new values on there, changing things around a little bit, spicing things up. Had a whole lot of 17s recently. There's only one now on there. And are we going to have a small invert to start the day? I think so. It looks like 12 cars for our first invert today, JP. You want to guess who that puts on pole?
I think it's Craig Schill, isn't it?
Look at you. Did you get a screenshot? Are you studying here?
No, I was paying attention this time, you see?
All right.
Craig Schill really caught my eye.
Okay, we'll come back into the sim. Let's go ahead and bring up our unofficial race results from race number 1. It's a doozy.
Yeah, Jason Cooper, I guess as usual in race number 1, he's going to win. He's going to start in 12th place, so not the worst result for him to start on race number 2. Lars Fischer is going to finish right behind his teammate, albeit 2.5 seconds. Alan Delman is going to finish 3rd place after holding off the defense from Chris Knox, who after mounting the attack had to defend from Lee Holmes, and well, they finished less than 0.03 of a second behind each other, so really close between 4th and 5th place. Casper DeCourt, unfortunately, after defending from Adam Delman, is going to drop all the way to 6th place. Ben Sharp got a position over Adam McNally to finish in 7th place on the final lap of the race. Adam obviously finished in 8th. James Neve is going to finish in 9th place ahead of Nick Clemens.
Finishing in 11th, you'll find car 20. James Clark there, one of the pros. We had 11 pros in a row at the front of the field. I wonder if we can see a demotion maybe to spice up this Pro-Am battle. I don't know. We'll see if that changes between this week and next, but Craig Schill will get you pole here in race number 2, finishing 12th in race number 1. A small invert to start things off, which means these guys back here are all lining up in this same order. They don't get that gift to start from the front. So Michael Seal, Liam Silkstone, these guys, they've got to work their way up still. Sam Smith in 15th, Thor Tolo 16th. Julian Shore there in the 18th spot, or 17th spot. Fiona Siddons in 18th. Duncan Cove 19th, and Liam Simpson rounds out your first, your lead lap, it looks like. Well, need one more car. I think Nathan Davies does technically count as the lead lap here.
And yeah, Nathan Davies is going to finish 21st. McEwen, unfortunately, a lap down after that final lap. How can you say danger? I don't even know how to put it in English. Final lap, bad luck, I guess you can say. Mark Oliver is going to finish in 23rd. Alistair Hatcher in 24th, and Glenn Humberstone 25th place.
So 25 cars. Humberstone, I don't think he even started the race. We had 11 laps. He might have actually been caught up in something on lap 1, but certainly not the day that he wanted. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 Pro-Am cars in this field. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 amateur drivers. Yeah, there are not many other classes today. They've kind of all gone on vacation, it seems. So hopefully they'll either pop up here in the rest of these races today or pop up next week at Road America. Let's go ahead and take a look, though, at some upcoming broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV before we head to our intermission. We don't have NARL this evening, JP. Skipping 1 week, and we're pushing that race to next week on April the 19th. But what that does give us is an opportunity to look even further ahead in the week. You can see Wednesday evening, it's the Outlaw Sim Series at 7:30 Eastern, alongside the IORL IndyCar Series at the Michigan International Speedway. So you got Iowa Speedway or Michigan International Speedway, both Midwestern D-shaped ovals. One is 7/8 of a mile, one is 2 miles in length. One has NASCAR Next Gen cars on it, and the other will have Indy cars. So you get your fair choice between these two. Both great broadcasts, and honestly, if you have multiple monitors, multiple ways to watch, maybe a computer or a laptop and a phone or a tablet, do whatever, even an Xbox potentially, a gaming console, a phone, you can watch both and go back and forth. And I really think both of these races are going to be worth it for exactly that. You got to tune in, and if you can only catch one at once, I think that's one of those nights where you're gonna have to watch a whole lot of Pit Stop TV and catch both those races back to back and watch one after the other. But regardless, we've also got Sonoma Raceway again on Thursday afternoon, 8 p.m. UK. That is 3 p.m. here in the United States, at least on the East Coast. It is 12 noon on the West Coast. BSRTC right back here on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a fantastic one, Andrew. And obviously, do not miss out on any sort of bit on the action. Let it be live updates or obviously news from all the broadcasts and obviously all the series we cover. Follow us on social media at facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, and youtube.com/pitstoptv1.
So Jason Cooper takes another win, JP. That's now 7 on the season. We've only raced 13 times, which means he is now officially over 500. He's starting to bat better than just, exactly one half. Does he get another one? Does he make it 2 for 2 on the day? Does he go for 3? Does he stay ahead of this mark now? I mean, the small invert here for the next race is going to help him out quite a little bit as we get ready for the second race of the day. I honestly, JB, I would not be surprised rather if Jason Cooper gets more than 2 wins today.
Oh, I wouldn't either, especially this invert. 11 drivers ahead of him. Andrew, should be very interesting to see what he can do.
Race 2 on the way, 15 more minutes of action, and, I say 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes in this next race, then 2 more races after that. Still 3 races to go. Don't go anywhere. Stick right here with us at Pits.tv.
wanna cry. cry.
Welcome back to the virtual Sonoma Raceway as we get ready for race number 2 on the afternoon. Race 1, Jason Cooper as per usual atop the scoring pylon, nothing changing there, and nothing is really expected to change with that mark either. Car 1 is just way too good, and driver 1 is even better. It seems like they've got something going for them in those 5-star motorsport cars that is just a leg up literally on the rest of the competition, and certainly he is a driver up on the rest of the competition. As we get ready for race 2, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid, or at least those that are being inverted. Craig Schill inverted up to the pole, James Clark second, starting third it's Nick Clibbins, then James Neve in the 4th spot, Adam McNally rolls off 5th, Ben Sharp 6th, Casper DeCourt will start from 7th, Lee Holmes there in the 8th spot after snagging 5th place in the race. And to finish out your top 10 of the starting grid, you got Chris Knox and Adam Delmont. The final 2 being inverted here, JP, it's Lars Fisher and Jason Cooper.
Yeah, those 12 drivers are gonna have a challenge. Obviously, those that finish in 12, like Craig Schill, he's gonna have the best seat on the house. But Andrew, the rest of them, they're gonna have to battle their way through. And we saw how difficult it can be and how tricky this track can be when you're trying to overtake. These drivers are going to have to prove that they can do it. Well, 15 minutes, they can get back to the positions where they finished on the previous race. Looks like we have pretty much every single driver. We have the red lights. We're ready to go.
You're getting ready to go racing now. 25 cars still here. And these motors getting up to tone, and off and away. Race 2 is underway. Up the hill, Craig Schill leads. It's James Clark second. You see these guys moving around into turn 2, 3 wide. This is where I start to expect to see some issues here in turn 2. The rest of these races, I think, are going to get more hectic.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the top 4 looks like they're all in a single file. Driver taking a little bit carefully. I saw Chris Knox really going up the curb. We have 2, 3 cars. Is that Fiona Sid is really going wide? Looks like she saved the car. That was an absolutely beautiful save. And it looks like, Andrew, everybody makes it through the first sector.
Nick Clibbins up to point in turn 5. Takes a spot away from Craig Schill. James Neve into third. Everybody works through turn 5 now. Julian Schroer out wide. And down to the S's, the top 3 in line. Craig Schill, an amateur in the middle of 2 pros.
Yeah, Craig Schill is doing absolute well. He's trying to defend it for all his life, and you can see he's already coming up under a little bit of pressure, under a lot of pressure, I should say. Back there, Andrew, although for 4th place, you can see that's a big train of cars, and it looks like we're gonna see a move already down into the hairpin. We might see a lot of moves actually down into the hairpin already early on in the race. You can see a few drivers going a little bit careful. One driver taking it into the pit lane, looks like.
Looks like a penalty for one driver as we come across and complete lap number 1. It was Michael Seal into the pits, along with, it looks like, no, just Michael Seal. So a penalty there for Michael Seal on lap number 1. Potentially even damage, forcing him into the pit lane. Neve is ahead of Schill now, who drops down to the 3rd spot. You can see James Clark, Adam McNally, Ben Sharp in a line. These guys were racing pretty heavily in race 1, and they're right back to it now in race 2.
Yeah, absolutely. They're really going for it. You can see, are we going to see a move down into turn number 4? No, looks like everybody's just biding their time, trying to really make the move count. And I'm pretty sure they know how important it is to keep in touch with the car ahead, so they're not risking it all early on in the race, but you can see Clark really holding back. Looks like McNally seems really fast on this early stage of the race, and he's eager to get past the number 20. He can see the leader just ahead of him, around less than 2 seconds ahead of him actually. So if he can get it going, if he can get past Clark, he might have a shot at it.
Ben Sharp also very close to McNally. I think that's pressing the issue for car 78 certainly, as we're only on the second lap and we expected 10, maybe 11 if the pace picks up in this race. Kicking the cones out of the way there on pit entry. Ben Sharp looking for a way on by, can't find it. Everybody goes wide in the hairpin though. Look at how many cars went wide through there. They've just changed everything up. Ben Sharp up through to 4th now. McNally, Delmont, they all went offline, and James Clark dropped behind them all.
Yeah, James Clark really tried to outbrake them all, and well, everybody outbroke themselves. So yeah, he really ended up losing quite a bit. You can see almost going 3 wide. That's going to be contact. That's Casper the Court, I think, with contact on James Clark. Luckily, Clark was able to hold that car off. That was beautiful, but the battle, Andrew, is still very much on. You can see McNally now really pushing Craig Shield to try and get that position. Look at Ben Sharp as well, really close to McNally. This is going to be an interesting battle.
Craig Shield deep into turn 4, trying to keep this spot away from Adam McNally, but I think into turn 5, it's going to be all of car 78 to the inside. Yes, here we go. McNally down to the braking zone, takes that spot away. Here comes Ben Sharp, and Craig knows he's got to slot in line. He does exactly that, just ahead of Adam Delmont. But he's going to hold up car 77 just a little bit. I think Craig is just a little bit off of these guys right now.
Yeah, but he's doing everything he can, Andrew. He's holding that position. He's keeping his car safe. It's exactly what he needs. Obviously, if you're Adam Delmont, you really want this car, well, pretty much to make a mistake as soon as possible and not involve you. But you can see already, Craig went a little bit wide on the exit of the SS. He's not going to go defensive. He's not going to make Delmont's life too difficult. You can see Delmont really going down the inside. Clark might follow suit, actually, on the inside. And actually, oh, no!
Craig Shield goes for a spin on corner exit, gets into Casper the Court along with it. And you can see a little bit of damage there now to car number 5. He had already been into James Clark earlier on, so it's nothing too crazy, all things considered, but still damage there to Casper's machine as he follows Jason Cooper up the hill to turn 2. Lars Fisher behind him. Fisher goes wide. There goes Knox at the inside, bringing Sam Smith.
Yeah, Sam Smith is doing really well, holding his own against some of this pro competition. You can see how close he got with Lars Fisher. Oh, and there we go. He gets even closer, and they actually make a little bit of contact, and even more contact between Sam Smith.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's a cascade effect, but all of them still pointing in the right direction somehow.
They all just hit each other right there. Even McEwen and Holmes got a piece of the contact as Smith at the inside there of Lee Holmes, trying to get that spot back away. Lee is blinking once again. We come to expect that out of car 35 these days. As they work down to the S's now, Smith slots in behind car 35, and he's got Thortolo just behind with Liam Stimson there giving him company. And Andy McEwen into the top 10 now, so car 4 is starting to recover. Clark and Cooper, they swap spots. Cooper goes on by for 6th. And Clemens and Neve are starting to get close again.
Yeah, these guys are good. If they get close enough, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a battle for the lead. And obviously, I don't think that's in their best interest, Andrew. I feel like James should really just hold back until the final few laps of the race, because if they start battling, they're going to bring the whole train back to them. And, well, with McNally, Sharp, Delmont, and obviously Cooper as well, who's just setting the fast lap of the race, you definitely don't want those cars to be close to you in a position to maybe challenge. So, Neve, he's getting close, but, well, if he doesn't get past too easily, he could really hurt himself and Clemens on this battle for the lead.
Here's for 3rd. Ben Sharp and McNally still very close. Nose to tail. Sharp won this battle in race 1, and that slip-up was almost enough for McNally to lose the spot, but he does hold on for now. Through turn 4, you see Ben Sharp give him some room. I think Ben is certainly faster right now, but it's a matter of setting things up. And oh, look at this. I didn't even see Delmont at first. Delmont at the inside. So teammates helping each other here. Delmont going to pull Sharp off of McNally, and here comes Jason Cooper on through. Good move.
Yeah, Cooper just, well, absolutely wasting no time whatsoever. Gets past Delmont. Now Ben Sharp, I thought he was just looking down the inside of McNally, but he was going defensive. Now he's really going to have to go defensive if Cooper gets past Delmont, which is exactly what he wants to do on the exit of the S. As you can see, the number 77 really tackling those curbs. Looks like he ran just a little bit too wide. Is that enough for the number 1 to look down the inside? Not quite, Angel. Looks like Cooper's
Cooper's already past Delmont.
Oh, yeah. Well, never mind then. Well, Cooper just pressured, looks like Ben Sharp on a mistake. I just misread that completely. Well, ignore everything I said. Well, Cooper's up to 4th place.
Yeah, he got that spot made back in turn 5. He followed on through just nicely through the S's and got that spot. Now Clark and Knox going to do some battle up to turn 2. Knox for the inside of the corner, takes that spot away nice and easily. To move James Clark from, at first, battling almost into the top 3, now back to 9th position, as McEwen had a bit of a power slide there through turn 2. And there's Cooper.
That's just how quickly things can change. Oh my god, that's really wide. From, is that Delmont? Yes, it is, number 77. Wow, he ran really wide. Somehow, Andrew, he saves that car, but I'm pretty sure his heart was beating just a little bit faster. And look at this. Is that even more change for position? This is Sharp actually trying to get back at Cooper, isn't it?
Cooper goes on by. And now Jason gets the focus of up ahead on car 78. I think he should be able to get there, but you know what? I mentioned for Ben Sharp in race number 1, he's got to challenge guys like Jason Cooper. He's got to be there, and here he is. He is challenging car number 1. Jason's gone on by, but this might not be it just yet as McNally goes wide there through turn 10. Clibbins and Neve start to space out. Clibbins with the advantage. Could Nick Clibbins finally grab a win today?
That would be very interesting. He currently sits, what, 3.5 seconds ahead of Cooper with 6.5 minutes to go. It's definitely on the cards, Andrew, but he needs the help from, well, McNally and Neve to hold off Cooper for as long as humanly possible. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how it develops. Obviously, Cooper wants to deny that opportunity, that possibility, and he's definitely looking like he's trying to do that.
McNally's wide.
And that's exactly what Clibbins doesn't need. This is exactly what McNally doesn't need, because he's going to fall under pressure from Ben Sharp as well, and he could lose 2 positions. Ben is going to try to hold it around the outside of 3A. Holds it, they're going to go side by side through 3B, and down into turn number 4, the number 24 has the inside line.
Oh, very close there through turn 4 for all of those guys. Ben Sharp almost gets into McNally. Casper DeCourt there now as well. DeCourt looks a little bit wide at entry, turns back in, follows them on through, going to try and set them up for the long con here through the S's and make up some time on them. If he can set up turn 10, I think he's got an easy pass here on Ben Sharp, at least to the inside. Ben's in a weird position. I don't think Ben can back up enough to get a good run. That said, Ben backs up to Casper. Casper looks to the inside now. I don't think he can back up either through turn 10. Maybe back to throttle just in time. Gonna have a run. Here goes Casper to court. Ben goes to the inside. Casper is gonna go to the outside. And that pass isn't gonna happen yet. Casper way out wide. Certainly took a shot as Lars Fischer and Lee Holmes go side by side as well.
Yeah, these two going side by side. Looks like Lars Fischer ended up losing a little bit on that one. You can see McNally, well, holding position, and as you said, Andrew, looks like Casper DeCourt really couldn't get past as the number 5. This is Glenn Humberstone, isn't it?
It is very, very terrible running there in race 1. There we go. Taken out on lap number 1, and in this battle now with Julian Schroer, something has gone awry. Watch the 88 tech number 513. Black and blue and white on that car. Wide at turn 10, and oh! Did he get Julian Schroer? Yes, he did. Both of these cars destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed. That's going to be race over for both of them. Really unfortunate to see as well.
And he only just caught Julian in the left rear there. Only just. Watch this one more time. Julian Schroer just trying to set this pass up, and Glenn goes out wide, and man, Julian even saw that one coming. He tried to get over as far as he could.
Yeah, but unfortunately just wasn't enough for him. And you saw a few of the extra cars that were coming as well. They got kind of a close call as well.
Let's go back up front now with live picture as Delmont takes a look here at Casper DeCourt. This is at turn 11 with 3.5 minutes to go. Delmont out wide, Casper out wide. Here comes Chris Knox. You have got to make sure to get turn 11 right, otherwise you will lose whatever battle you're in, and the battles behind it as well. James Clark now to the inside of Delmont as Knox goes side by side with with Casper DeCourt, and this guy's watching it all. Andy McEwen in 10th spot.
You can see he's just trying to spot a single mistake from each and every single one of them to trying to get a position. You can see on the outside, he gets a good run mid-corner to pass Clark for 9th position, and he does so. You can see Clark just backs off a little bit, so the number 4 moves up to the 9th position. Up ahead still, well, it kind of remains in change as Chris Knox really going wide on the exit of 3B, and well, really pushing to the limit, Andrew. And with 2 minutes, well, less than 3 minutes to go, you really have to. You can see just how close these guys are getting to the barriers.
Top 12 All-Pro drivers. Your first Pro-Am driver is mired back in 13th spot. That is Sam Smith. Tortullo is a little ways behind and battling with Liam Stimpson. So I think Sam Smith is likely pretty safe here for the Pro-Am win. Down in amateur, though, it's Duncan Cope leading the way currently over Craig Schill. He's got about a second, a little under a second lead over Craig. And next up in their class will be Alistair Hatcher in 19th, then Fiona Siddons and Mark Oliver. And Fiona Siddons has just had a crash. Her car is pretty well damaged. Oh, problems. Casper to quarter round in turn 11, it looks like.
Yeah, that looks like a decent shunt. You can see the right side rear view mirror, right side mirror, I guess you can say, was really hanging off. So I wonder, Andrew, was this another close of the door for him, or was he hit unintentionally by another driver?
We're going to see some big contact here in a second. Watch Chris Knox and Adam Delmont behind. Delmont to the inside. McEwen looks low. Chris Knox blows the corner. And McEwen.
Oh, McEwen.
In fairness, all 4 of those drivers took the corner wrong. All 4 of them. Not a single one of those guys took the corner correctly at all. Let's take a look here from car number 4 and see if we can kind of break this down a little more. So McEwen has a big run, goes to the inside, blows his braking zone, straight lines the corner. Casper, I guess you could say he took the corner okay.
Yeah, he was doing the corner just on the tide line. But yeah, he was right on the apex. And unfortunately for all 3 of them, they were just trying to outbrake each other, Andrew. And at that point in time, McEwen had absolutely nowhere to go due to his own mistake.
That'll be a big penalty for him.
Yeah, that will definitely be a big penalty. I think it'll only be applied next round of a qualifying ban. But yeah, unfortunately, that really just hurt the number 5. He was running a comfortable, what was it, 5th position? I think it was 6th. But yeah, he was running comfortably. But, well, one driver that was running comfortably, Andrew, on the previous lap was Nick Clibbins. Now he has the number 1 on the final lap of the race to chase him down.
Yeah, he got on by James Neve very quickly and has now started to work here on Nick Clibbins. This is it, the final lap presented by Whiplash Simcams in race number 2. It is a straight-up battle between Nick Clibbins in car 13 and Jason Cooper in car 1. Clearly a pace mismatch, as we know with Jason Cooper. He's just way too fast. He's utilizing these curbs. Nobody else is feeling free to utilize those curbing, and I think that's part of why he's so much faster. He's using those curbs to turn the car, and these guys are all staying off of them.
Yeah, we saw a few drivers already losing. Oh, that's gonna
psyched himself out.
Maybe? Yeah, but judging by how quick he can be on the S's, Andrew, I feel like he can close up, and that could really, losing that bit of a gap might help him on the exit of the S's just to catch up. You can see how much he's throwing the car. It almost feels like a go-kart in this situation, just absolutely throwing it on the apex, and the car is just sticking. Nick Clibbins is going to have to absolutely nail this corner right here, turn 11, the final corner before the hairpin, and he needs to go defensive, Andrew. Go defensive already. Yes, he goes, but he leaves the door open. That might be all Cooper needs.
He's gonna run wide.
He's going to allow Clibbins to run wide.
You're kidding me.
Cooper
just way out wide.
Yeah, just force him into a mistake, and that's going to be 2 for 2 for Jason Cooper. What a comeback.
So he has definitely ensured that he will win at least half the races to this point. Wins another one, Jason Cooper winning race number 2. A drag race to the line, and it's McEwen over Delmont, over Knox, over Clark, over Holmes. Wow. I'm just trying to let that one sink in.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to, I guess, to witness it. I don't even know the word, but wow.
We'll have all the way down through 24th position and Michael Steele eligible for this invert. Julian Schroer and Mark Oliver are battling further back. Let's take a look at this. Into turn 11, almost contact. Oliver's going to have the spot over Schroer, who is nursing that very damaged number 578 back to the pit lane, or back to the start-finish line anyways. Across the line, he will finish. Fiona Siddons in 23rd. Also a bit of damage there, and Michael Steele. I'm not sure what's gone on for him today, but it has been a terrible, terrible day of racing.
Absolutely. He really wants to be bouncing back on the final 2 rounds. Luckily, Andrew, he's still going to be eligible for the invert, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be hoping for 1 result of the spinny wheel.
Well, he actually might be helped up by 2. We'll see here in a second. as he will finish this race up in the 24th position. And we can go ahead and fire up our spinning wheel for race number 3. And you'll see here, actually, it's got 25 right in the middle. It's going to go soaring by 25. Unfortunately, not helping Michael Seal, but that will help all the way down to Nathan Davies. And JP, as we know, he likes to spice things up.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure he will be spicing things up on race number 3. But obviously 15 inverse, that's going to mean that Jason Cooper, after winning race number 1 and starting 12 and finishing race number 2 in first place, well, this time he's going to have to start a bit further back in 15th place. Nick Clibbins unfortunately lost the race on the final corner due to, well, falling under pressure from the reigning champion. He's going to finish in 2nd. James Neve is going to finish in 3rd place ahead of Adam McNally. Ben Sharp is going to finish in 5th. Andrew McEwen is going to finish in 6th place. Adam Delmon is 7th. Chris Knox is going to finish in 8th place. All those drivers are separated by 0.3 of a second. And James Clark, 9th place, ahead of Lee Holmes.
Jason Cooper, by the way, has now won the last 3 races in BSR MX-5 and 5 of the last 7. That goes all the way back to race 4 at Donington Park in round number 2. He won 2 of them last week at Knock Hill, and he's won 2 of them so far today at Sonoma. Finishing 11th, though, you will find car 527, Sam Smith with the Pro-Am victory, just ahead of Lars Fisher and Casper DeCourt. Liam Simpson goes 14th. Nathan Davies will be the biggest beneficiary of the invert. We'll start now race number 3 from pole, and that's going to change the entire course of the day, especially with Casper DeCourt and Lars Fisher. What they are, they will start 3rd and 4th, and of course they are rather formidable. I think we're going to see cars 22, 5, and 96 battle a whole lot in this next race, JP, with Thortullo finishing 16th, Duncan Cope 17th, then it's Craig Schill, Liam Silkstone, and Alistair Hatcher, your top 20.
21st place goes the way of Mark Oliver. Julian Schroer finishes in 22nd. Fiona Sid is in 23rd. Michael Sealy in 24th. The last driver to finish on the lead lap, and the only driver to not finish on the lead lap is Glenn Humberstone in 25th.
So 25 cars, that's the order they finish in here. Glenn Humberstone with that big damage after his turn 10 spill that just collected Julian Schroer. That is it for race number 2. Race 3 on the way. We certainly hope you'll stick around with us. Maybe grab yourself a snack as per usual, grab yourself a drink or refreshment, whatever you want to call it, and be right back here in just a few more moments for race 3 race 3 out of 4 on the day. It is round number 4 at the Sonoma Raceway. It's time for race 3 at the Sonoma Raceway. Jason Cooper has, well, he's just kept on winning. He has won both races so far this afternoon, in case you've missed the first two. And I don't think that's really going to change, JP. He just came back from 12th to 1st to win that one. He's only going to come back an extra 3 positions, and it looked like he was just about fast enough to do so anyways. How do you stop car number 1?
I don't think I can say that on the broadcast, but it's really difficult to stop him, Andrew. His pace, I mean, has been excellent, hasn't it? He's being able to put each and every single driver under pressure. I'm pretty sure the only way to stop car number 1 is either to put a whole bunch of drivers in front of him or having him some sort of DNF, some sort of hardware issue, because he's simply unstoppable.
It's going to take a crash, I think.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Yeah, it's going to take some kind of crash. I don't know what it is today, but he has got things figured out. Excuse me. I mean, he's been fast. There's no other way to put it. I don't think there's too many adjectives you can use, or too many more adjectives you can use anyway. He has just been the fastest car here. It's how things have been in BSR Trophy Tuesdays, which makes us look a little further down the order for some battles. And I think then you've got to look to guys like Casper DeCourt, Lars Fischer, Adam Delmont, Adam McNally. They've been all over the place. Ben Sharp has injected a lot of life into today's battles. I think he's been a lot of fun to watch so far. And I think in this race, JP, you've got to look to guys like Nathan Davies, Casper DeCourt, Lars Fischer. Nathan Davies will start this race on pole. Liam Simpson there will start in the middle of these guys. But then Casper DeCourt, Lars Fischer, row 2. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to make things a lot of fun. And they're obviously going to make things difficult, Andrew, for the car number 1 that is going to be starting all the way down in 15th place. You can see Sam Smith, Lee Holmes alongside James Clark, Chris Knox in 8th. 10th place, 9th go to Delmon, Andrew McEwen in 10th, Ben Sharp 11th, McNally 12th, 13th goes the way of Neve Clibbins in 14th, and obviously the number 1, Jason Cooper in 15th. That's all we had time for, and that's actually all we needed.
Everybody else in the same order as they finished in race 2, waiting on the green lights here for race number 3, and we're off and away. Nathan Davies with a good start. Through turn 1. And up the hill, it looks like Sam Smith takes a pit lane start. Everybody else, though, works up to turn number 2. McEwen out wide, a little bit of contact in the midfield, and look at that. McNally and Clibbins parked in turn 2.
Really not the start of the race that they wanted. They're going to have to fight back. Oh, even more cars. Fiona Siddons as well as that Glenn Humberstone.
Oh, Nathan Davies!
Nathan Davies!
A massive impact there with the inside wall out of 3A. And that race already done for car 22. Ben Sharp is taking a spin. Turn 4. Car 24 in the wall. Tons of issues here on this first lap.
Yeah, things are really picking up on race number 3. You can see drivers going side by side. That's Lee Holmes. Looks like he just got a position. Oh, and they almost make up.
Chris Knox turns him.
Can he save it? Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. Did nobody hit him? Oh.
No, I think it was Clark that hit him.
Knox turned him around, but I don't think anybody hit him after that. Or if so, it was light. Adam Delmont, though, with a problem. He's slow through turn 10. He falls back into, it looks like the 12th or 13th position. Look at everything ahead of him. And up to the speed shot to end lap number 1. Liam Stimpson is your race leader.
He's holding his own so far, leading the Pro-Am class, leading the overall race. Unfortunately for him, he has 2 5-star motorsport drivers behind him. And look at this battle right here we have, Andrew. This is really good to see all these cars bunched up. But I think, Andrew, we're due to a replay.
Yeah, our first lap 1 replay of the day, I do believe. Let's go ahead and check out for Adam McNally what goes on here. He's going to start just behind Ben Sharp and Andy McEwen, ahead of James Neve and Nick Clibbins here. This is through turn 1. Now, Nick Clibbins behind car 78 means it looks like maybe there was some contact there, but I really think, yeah, it's the 3 wide. I think Sharp tried to go between Delmont and McNally. There's contact. Fiona Siddons comes spinning in. All of that happens. Then Nathan Davies has an issue here. Through turn 3A, just gets loose.
Just on his own. He didn't even hit the curb on the inside as well, so the car just got loose. You can see a bit more drivers going side by side, and then obviously we're going to be turning our eyes to Ben Sharp, who just again loses on his own engine. Unfortunately for him, that barrier just came a bit too quickly, and I'm pretty sure his car is toast at that point. And then obviously Lee Holmes, he's gonna make a little bit of contact on the S's right here.
He gets hit right at the next 8. Well, I guess right there he
Just
gets hit.
here, yeah.
It's just enough.
And look at
Just enough
Clark.
to spin him around. Barely
Ooh.
hits him.
Yeah, just a little bit of contact. Luckily, I think both drivers were able to continue, and Lee got really lucky to not be collected by anyone else.
And now, just as we went to replay, there was a pass for the race lead. Casper DeCourt was battling here with Liam Stimpson down to turn 11. This is to wrap up lap 1. You can see Lars Fisher in the picture, even Chris Knox. They are your top 3 now in live. We'll watch this battle go through at least to the pass for the race lead, because this is pretty important here for Stimpson losing the spot and Casper DeCourt taking it away. Jason Cooper is up to 6th. He's only 3.5 seconds behind Casper DeCourt, so I think we're going to have a pretty big battle on our hands here pretty soon. Where does Casper take this race lead?
That's a really good question. I'm not quite sure if he forced Stimpson into a mistake. You can already see him lining up on the entry of 3, and on the exit, I think he just gets a good enough exit, and yeah, Stimpson just goes really wide.
Oh.
Is able to save the car. Lars Fisher as well, really getting close, already looking down the inside, and he's going to get that position as well.
We'll come back to live now as Chris Knox follows these two. James Neve and Andy McEwen swap spots. That is good for the 6th position for McEwen, who is now just behind Jason Cooper. So, car 1, does he go 3 for 3?
Oh, Andrew, with only 4 drivers ahead of him, with 10 minutes to go, I think it's kind of hard to bet against him, actually. He's just on his own. Obviously, he's going to have to battle his teammates, and I wonder how that will go. But so far, he needs to get past the Pro-Am leader, Liam Stimpson, just ahead of him. That's going to be interesting to see. You could see a little bit of puff of smoke from understeer, I think it was, from the front left tire. But yeah, Cooper's absolutely pushing. He's not leaving anything on the table, is he?
He never usually does he? Duncan Cope and Adam Delmont, they're side by side. Delmont now on the inside. Cope just took that spot away, I think. So Adam Delmont with some issues here in race 3. He's fallen back a little bit, and Duncan Cope is starting to figure things out. The 912 is up into the top 10 on his own volition.
Really good, and really good to see him passing Delmont, really not being afraid to pass those pro drivers. Delmont will definitely want that position back, and you can see how close he is to the back end of the 912, so I expect to see a move down into the happen. You can see already how much he's pushing, how much both of them are pushing. Duncan Cope to retain the position. Cooper gets past Stimpson while we're looking at this. The number 77 tries to look down the inside, but look at that, Andrew. Duncan Cope has absolutely no fear of closing that door. And yeah, that's exactly what he needs so far.
See Stimpson now just behind Jason Cooper, who's now within 4 seconds of the race lead. The top 3 have not changed a bit. Michael Seal has had all kinds of issues today. He's currently in 12th position, and he's got a great look at that battle ahead. No, he is blinking out a little bit. Silkstone, though, is not, and he can see Cope out his windshield along with Delmont, who goes on by car 912.
Yeah, Delmont got back past Duncan Cope. Duncan really doing a fantastic race. He's going to have to hold the number 57 just for a tiny little bit longer if he wants to keep in touch with the number 77. He closes the door, and that's exactly what he needed. Cutting back ahead. This is McEwen and Stimpson, if I'm not mistaken. This is a battle for 5th place. They're going to go side by side on the entry of the S's, Andrew. And Stimpson is doing a fantastic job holding that position, but he might just lose out to the number 4.
McEwen can't do anything there through turn 8. And down to 9. Neve is going to fill that hole on the inside. Almost 3 wide between these pros. James Neve does get there. James Clark now sets him up. These pros are holding themselves back. I think if they were to just go by in a line, they would easily pass Stimpson. But, you know, that never really works out, does it?
No, absolutely not. I guess if you're just a driver behind with 7 minutes to go, you just want to get as many positions as you want instead of just waiting around. And you can see, well, this is Duncan Cope absolutely holding on a train behind him. The first car, I'm not quite sure who that is, just going, oh, that's Liam Silkstone. So this is for 2nd place. See Liam trying to catch up, obviously, Stimpson. Duncan still leading quite comfortably as Craig Schill is still down in 15th place. But you can see, Andrew, it's getting kind of difficult for him to hold up those positions for the time being. A bit of contact. Michael Seal almost has a bad 3rd race, but manages to hold off.
And to be clear, that's second place in Pro-Am Liam Silkstone, who has gone on by and taken 10th away. Duncan Cope is an amateur driver. Seal and McNally are pros, but then Thortullo at the end of this line is a Pro-Am driver. So he's in the same class as Silkstone, who leads this line. If he could get up there, he could get 6th in class. Their leader in class currently, Liam Stimpson, up in the 5th position, who's got company once again from McEwen, who's closing in. Not quite there yet. Chris Knox has gone on by Lars Fischer for 2nd as McEwen squares up with car 520. Let's see if this battle comes to fruition into the hairpin or not, as the top 4 are all in a line. McEwen to the inside of Stimpson, and yes, he's going to make that advancement on the inside, wraps right around that curbing, and he's got 5th position over Stimpson, who's going to fall victim now, it looks like, to James Neve and James Cooper. But here we go for the race lead. Chris Knox realizes that Jason Cooper is closing, and he is after it.
Yeah, he's absolutely after it, and he needs to get past Casper the Court as soon as possible. The number 23 trying to run away from the number 1, and well, obviously the number 1 has already closed in the gap quite a bit, Andrew. So this, well, it's absolutely go time for everybody on this top 3 if they want a chance at winning the race. You can see Chris Knox kind of losing a little bit of ground to Casper the Court on the first sector. He needs to close back in on the second part. You can see how wide everyone goes. That was really close between all of them, but, well, they're holding position.
Jason Cooper sitting behind these guys. He has caught them. He ran them down from about 4 seconds back, but now starting to reach a bit of an impasse. It's easy to catch somebody. It's a lot more difficult to pass them, especially when you got 3 somebodies to pass. And 2 of them are your teammates.
Yeah, that sometimes makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it? Obviously,
no, it makes it more difficult.
You think?
Absolutely. These guys, especially at this point, Jason's got his fair share of wins. Is Lars or Casper going to move over for him? No, absolutely not.
That's a great point. That's, well, it's clear to the point. Lars Fischer is absolutely not thinking about letting his teammate pass. And this is where Cooper kind of can bide his time, Andrew. He still has 5 minutes to go, so he still has, what, 6 laps to go? To essentially line up and try to pass all 3 drivers ahead of him. 2 are his teammates. I'm pretty sure they were practicing together, so he might know their weaknesses.
Still on board here with Jason Cooper. Nothing really changing here through the entire field. McEwen and Stimpson battled again for a moment, but McEwen's got the spot as Jason Cooper makes an odd mistake there, gets all kinds of out of rhythm, saves it over 3A, but falls back from Lars Fischer just a little bit, and that's going to give these guys an opportunity to breathe for at least just a moment.
Yeah, just a few extra moments. Obviously, that's going to give Lars Fischer the best opportunity to take, a deep breath and trying to line up the number 23 ahead of him. You can see he's not close enough to make a move, because even Chris Knox actually lost a little bit of time to Casper the Court on the exit of turn number 5, and he's trying to get it back, Andrew, but the number 5 looks like he's quite strong on this middle to the last part of the racetrack, so that's exactly why he needs to be strong. But look at this, Cooper really closing into Fischer.
Whoa.
Could we see a move down into the hairpin?
Into the hairpin we go. Your top 4 stay in a line. They know that they don't really have to race just yet. They've got to get to the last lap. That's when they can really start to go after it. I think if you're Cooper or Fischer, maybe with 2 laps to go, as we should get 3 this time by.
It's going to get really interesting. You can see how close the number 1 is, but he's not close enough to go for a move on any place in the racetrack, especially Chris Knox as well. He's really close. Went a little bit wide on turn number 1. That's going to cost him a bit of contact to Casper the Court, and definitely going to allow Lars Fischer to maybe think about making an overtake. Still having to close the door for his teammate right behind, so it's kind of really difficult to be in Lars' position right here. And you can see the run that Cooper got. No, just taking it a little bit easier. Really good to see. The time is running off. Oh, is he close enough on the exit of 5? On the entry of 5? Yes, he is. Goes down the inside. Can he get the position? Yes, he can.
Easy spot there for Jason Cooper. I wonder if that's a team move to allow Cooper to go by only long enough to deal with Chris Knox. I think if you're Casper the Court, you probably don't want that, if I'm being honest. That is, unless you know that Cooper might not race you too hard for this win. If you're Casper the Court, I mean, you've got a big choice to make here. Do you want Chris Knox, somebody who's not your teammate, and is aggressive, but maybe a little bit slower than Jason Cooper to be on your back end? Or do you want Jason Cooper, who is the best driver in the series, but is your teammate and might let you win on your back end? Well, Casper the Court goes wide at turn 11, so he might have to find out here rather quickly gives up a lot of time there, but just enough to stay ahead of Chris Knox.
Yeah, doing just enough, going wide, getting a little bit of a better run. But Andrew, the answer to that question is, I'm pretty sure if you're Casper Decor, you don't care who's behind you as long as you win the race. But you can see Chris Knox really trying to line up a move on turn number 1. Cannot really get there too close. You can see Michael Seal is that even more issues for him, blinking quite a bit. And that's a puff of smoke. So I wonder if he just spun around. But look at that gap that Casper Decor really built up on Chris Knox. Now, Andrew, Chris is not having to attack, but but he has to defend from Cooper right behind him.
Oh, Cooper got real close. Cooper and Fisher got real close to that wall in turn 4. McEwen, I think, is starting to close in a little bit, but it's not going to be enough here as we only have about 90 seconds to go. Duncan Cope has dropped back to Craig Schill, and this actually is it was a great battle for a moment for your amateur win. Schill gets on by Duncan Cope, and that is good enough for the amateur lead. In Pro-Am, it's still Liam Stimpson leading the way, although he has got company from James Neve and from Adam Delmont close behind. And things kind of taper off from there, so it's really down to Jason Cooper and Chris Knox up here. As we come around, we will have the white flag presented by Whiplash Sim Cams here momentarily.
You can see Chris Knox going a little bit defensive, and that's everything he needs to do to try to hold off the number 1 Andrew. I think the win might be out of reach at this point. Still 3.5 tenths of a second, but he needs to nail sectors 1 and 2. And yeah, approaching the final lap of the race. This is the last opportunity for all these drivers to make a move and trying to dethrone Casper Decor from his possible race win.
If I'm Chris Knox, I absolutely go full defense mode. My full focus here is no longer on the win. Take the second place, do everything to keep Jason Cooper behind you. And, you know, out of turn 5, you can set up those S's. You can start to work on the S's and get after Casper Decor, but in this early set of the lap, in this early sector, you've got to focus on defense, especially here in 5. Cooper might have a run. That said, Casper Decor is backing Chris Knox up to Jason Cooper. Whether intentionally or not, this is going to be close.
Casper made a small mistake on the exit of 3 that really allowed Chris Knox to close up, but that was not an overtaking spot, so unfortunately he had to back off. Now he's having to really defend from the number 1 right behind as they enter the S's. Looks like everybody around here is really matched up on pace on this section, so it's all about the exit of this corner right here, Andrew. Can the number 23 really line up a good exit? He doesn't use a lot of curbs. He's very close. The number 5 has to go defensive. He leaves the door open but closes it. What can the number 23 do? Maybe on the exit. He's going to have a wider line, a better exit. This is all he needs, but looks like it's going to be all number 5.
I don't think it's enough. They will race to the line, and yes, Casper Decor is going to hang on to win this one. That is Casper's first win of the season across the line. Big stuff there for car 5.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy about that, holding Chris Knox for the best part of, I guess, 2/3 of the race. You can see other cars drag racing through the line. Simpson is going to win the Pro-Am class. Tucson is going to finish in 10th place. Andrew, we had a fantastic one.
Looking over to the win column now, Jason Cooper's got 8. Nick Clibbins almost had one earlier, but Adam Delmont and Chris Knox, they each got a pair. Casper Decor now matches Paul Donkin and Andy McEwen with 1 each. And we've still got one more race to go here today, and I would not be surprised if it goes the way of car number 1 as the final car to finish this race comes across the line. That was Alistair Hatcher. 5 cars failed to finish. Those are Mark Oliver, Theodore Siddons, Sam Smith, Nathan Davies, and Ben Sharp, who end up out of this race. Let's go ahead and bring up our invert for the final time today here, JP. One more go around on the spinny wheel. Where is it going to land? We had 12, we had 15. Small inverts so far. Is that going to change?
Yeah.
Oh boy. That's essentially full. Maybe.
Nope.
No. Wow. Last
that was
moment.
Really close. Yeah.
So, that changes things up a little bit. It would have been a full invert. That would have gone all the way down to Alistair Hatcher, but now instead, JP, let's take a look at the race results and find out who goes where.
Casper Decor, after winning race number 3, that's actually 3 for 3 for 5-star motorsport entry, and the number 5 takes the 3rd win of the day. Chris Knox is going to finish 2nd place. Cooper is going to finish in 3rd place. Well, it's 100% podium results for him so far. Lars Fischer is going to finish in 4th. Andrew McEwen is going to finish 5th. Stimson is going to finish in 6th, winning the Pro-Am class. Neve in 7th for car number 7. The car number 77 is going to finish in 8th place ahead of Clark, and Liam Silkson in 10th place.
11th, it's Adam McNally in car 78. 12th goes to Thoritillo. That's third in class for him. Craig Schill wins in amateur by 2/10 or so over Duncan Cope, who goes second. Then it's Nick Clibbins who will get the final invert position. So Clibbins will start from pole. Then it's Duncan Cope second, Craig Schill third, Thoritillo fourth, and Adam McNally will start from fifth in the next race. Michael Seal will finish 16th and start from 16th in race number 4. Then it's Glenn Humberstone, Lee Holmes, Alistair Hatcher, and Mark Oliver rounding out your top 5. Or top 20, that one.
I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with a top 5. Fiona Siddons, Sam Smith, Nathan Davies, they're going to finish 21st, 22nd, and 23rd respectively, and Ben Sharp in 24th position.
24 cars get things done and dusted once more, so we'll go on to race number 4 here, JP. I gotta ask, does Jason Cooper get it?
Well, Andrew, he finished in 3rd place with 15 inverts. That means he's going to start in 12th place. Well, what happened the
13th.
last time he finished in 12th place?
He'll start from 13th.
Oh, 13th. All right. So, yeah, take that back. So, all right. Well, unlucky 13th. It could be for him.
It's going to be an interesting one. I really think car 1 has got a great opportunity as per usual. Anytime he's in the race, he's got a great opportunity, but it's going to be really hard to bet against him. There is more variety of cars ahead of him, I think, in different orders and things, so that might change things up for him, but I really think we might be looking at Jason Cooper taking a 3rd win on the day, which would just be insane. Car number 1, absolutely on fire. Let's go ahead and get ready then for race number 4. Been a fun one so far, JP. We've got one more to go, and we hope everybody stays along with us. We'll be right back here on Pit Stop TV. Don't go anywhere. But there was a slight delay. I think we had to wait on the sun to go down and the moon to come up here, JP, but we are back at the virtual Sonoma International, Sonoma Raceway in the virtual Napa Valley, California. Let's go ahead and take a look sim side, and you'll get a clue as to what I'm talking about here. We are in full darkness in the sim for race number 4. Things have changed quite a little bit. Let's go ahead and get down, though, to Liam Silkstone, who is standing side by side, and JP, he's had a bit of an up and down day.
So, Liam, I mean, the racing today has been fantastic from our point of view. We know how tricky Sonoma can be. How is it being for you driving around in an MX-5?
Oh, I've been smashing it tonight. I caused a bit of mayhem in the last race. So, well, last round, so I had a quali ban and a pit start. But I've managed to overtake more of the field from starting at the back. And then I got unlucky with the reverse, so I was still near the back. So, but I think I've never lost a position a lap yet, apart from when I got spun on lap 1. So,
well, so far has been a fantastic day from you. Obviously, the first 3 races we had were, well, in kind of a sunlight conditions. How does it change you not being able to see anything if you don't have headlights?
Well, luckily these have got headlights, and by the end of lap 1 I probably won't have headlights, so that might be a problem. And if I see a lot of headlights facing me, there's something gone wrong, so let's not go up for that one. But it should be alright, the track hasn't changed, it's still there, it hasn't moved, so I don't know what the worry is.
No, absolutely. I love that confidence. Hopefully you're going to be pointing, hopefully you're going to be seeing some red lights, some tail lights. of throughout the race. But yeah, what are your expectations for race number 4?
I want to finish in the top 10 again. Nick's towards the front, so hopefully Nick will run away. Liam did really well, Liam Stimpson, so we should be alright. We'll just have to see how we do.
Oh, absolutely. With that being said, Liam, I'm going to let you focus on the race, and hopefully we can talk to you after it.
Yep, I'll see how we do.
Absolutely. So, Andrew, that's Liam Silkson. He sounds confident. He has, well, quite a few good races so far. Hopefully he can keep the momentum.
We'll see how things go as warm-up rages on here through the darkness at the Sonoma Raceway. The weather throughout the day has stayed very, very similar, although this race has gotten a little bit warmer. It's up to 78 degrees in the air, 80 degrees in the racetrack. It's different out there.
It's definitely different, Andrew. So not only the temperature, obviously visually as well, the track, I guess you can say, is quite different. This is going to be a fantastic race number 4. More and more interesting, isn't it?
It is, as we have a bit of a freeze here mid-broadcast. See if this comes back to us. And, well, it looks like we're back. We didn't go anywhere, but it'll be just one moment. We'll be right back to you in just a moment. We'll have race 4 coverage in just a few seconds. So as we get ready for race number 4 here at JP, Jason Cooper, 2 wins in the day, but 5-Star Motorsport, 3 wins the day so far. Casper DeCourt getting that last one. What do you expect here at a race 4? I know we just spoke with Liam Silkstone. We've seen Pro-Am drivers and Am drivers kind of have a bit of an off day, a bit of a quiet day. What do you think we have here in race 4?
Well, I hope we can have fantastic racing, Andrew. The nighttime is definitely going to put a bit of a challenge on these drivers. Definitely going to make things a little bit more difficult on them. So it should make the racing, I guess, a little bit better, making sure the drivers really tackle on the right opportunities to pounce and to overtake. So, yeah, I expect a big challenge, but a fun one.
As we get ready for this 4th and final race, I promise the sim, as you saw a few moments ago, looks nothing like it does here in this B-roll. Things have changed quite a bit as the field takes to the grid. Let's go ahead and come back into the sim, or at least give it a shot. But we will try and get that for you momentarily as these guys are about to roll off the grid. Well, the race is starting. Just bear with us here. As you can see, we do have race cars in the racetrack. Not sure what's going on, but Tech Gremlins decide to do things as they may. Nick Clibbins leading the way after one lap as we get off and away here in race number 4. Adam McNally in third, chasing this guy Thor Tullo around the racetrack. One lap in the books. Ben Sharp with issues on that first lap. He is in the pits and likely done for this one.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ben, that's going to be the end of his day of racing. And unfortunately, as we cut further ahead, you can see a few drivers injured. Looks like most of them are still single file. You can see a few drivers tackling in, a few overtakes, some still getting really close to that barriers. Obviously, we've caught a few headlights as we have. Looks like a 5-star Motorsport car going down the inside. Is that Cooper? Or is that Fisher going through Neve?
Yes, that's Jason Cooper on the back end of James Neve, with Casper to quarter little for the back. Lars Fischer's already gone on by. Those 3 cars in a line go on by car 7. And Adam McNally going to have a chance here on Thor Tullo before too long. Excuse me, as they work down to turn number 11. And those rear rotors light up on that Mazda Miata. There's even a move here. Silkstone and McEwen. And Fischer and Schill go side by side. Lars Fischer wasting no time here in race number 4. Let's go back, though, and see what happened here on this start that we all kind of missed. So back to the start of the race. This is a good opportunity here to see what kind of went on here. Nick Clibbins started this one from pole, so I'd expect that it's a pretty calm start for him. That was, I believe, yes, Craig Schiller started just behind him in that second spot. Thor Tullo got a better start. McNally there. And what happens to Ben Sharp?
So you can see just being backed
Oh,
up. Oh,
Siddons.
Fiona Siddons. And I
think that was Sam Smith that made contact with her. They just absolutely doored her.
And I think that is going to answer our question. But it looks like he goes back to racing pace, actually. So I wonder if we're going to see some extra contact from the number into the number 24 around here. And you can see the mirror just hanging off. You can see a few extra drivers stopped. So far, it looks very orderly. I don't see a lot of damage. Does he make a mistake? Goes on? Yes. But he saves it.
It's out of turn 5, okay. Might have just had some damage. It looks like he's towed, though, so he definitely had an incident somewhere here. He's the very tail end of this group as they head down to the S's for the first time in this race. Trying to pass Fiona Siddons, and Fiona just comes over on him, and yeah, contact there.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna, unfortunately just back away from that one. You can see he avoids the concrete barrier, but I think he just elects to stop around here. Down one, as you can see, setting the fast lap of the race. And it looks like this is going to be all shoot go for the number 24, unless there's a bit more contact on the final part of the S's.
Regardless, we know how he got to this situation, so we know how his day has gone awry. Let's go ahead and get back up to some more recent picture. We've had an issue with Glenn Humberstone in recent moments, and his car is rather damaged. Go back and find out what's happened to him. So he gets off in 3A, and it's just a string of unfortunate events for him. It looks like through turn 4 was nearly our first car to hit that wall, and oh my goodness, was that Michael Seal? Yes, it was.
That was a big hit as well. Wow.
We'll go back and find out what happens here to Michael Seal as darkness is, as you can see, taking over Sonoma Raceway. Thing is getting a little bit different. Some braking points go away. Reference points change, and Seal just misses that wall. Then gets hit by, and he just turns left in front of Humberstone. I just gotta hit those brakes.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell what he was thinking. I'm pretty sure he was just like, let me get out of the racing line as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, Humberstone was already diving away from him. So yeah, unfortunately, those two made contact. Cutting back, Clibbins sets the fast lap of the race, which is exactly what he needed. Clibbins almost won race number 2, was it? So he definitely wants to, win this one. He lost it on the final lap. Cutting back, this is Adam Delmon. Looks like he just got past Thor Tullo for 3rd place, and he's going to be on the charge to pass McNally just ahead. You can see these two going side by side. This is Lee Holmes, looks like, just outside of the top 10.
Lee Holmes gets by Chris Knox. These two battling. Sam Smith is up the road, and Knox just went by James Clark earlier on in this lap. Jason Cooper on James Neve. Oh, this is a big block. That is Stimson, or is that Silkstone up the inside? I can't tell. That was Silkstone all the way down to the inside on Jason Cooper. Didn't want to give that spot up. Cooper comes out of that one on the top end with Silkstone now just ahead of Casper DeCourt, Craig Schill, Sam Smith just behind. This is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th in line as Cooper starts to scoot away.
This is a really good train to see. That was a really aggressive defending from Silkstone, definitely not wanting to give that away. Now he's going to have to defend from Cooper's teammate, Casper DeCourt, if he can get close enough. I don't think it will happen this lap, but you can see extra drivers just behind him, really going deep, and a couple of them almost missed their braking point. Well, they did, but they almost collected other drivers.
We stay racing here as we work on to lap number 6 for these drivers. Side by side here, Craig Schill on the inside. No, that's Lee Holmes on the inside of Sam Smith, rather. Smith won earlier in the day in Pro-Am. Third now in Pro-Am competition here in race 4, battling with Craig Schill. Chris Knox there as well. Knox going to go to the left side. Going to follow Lee Holmes on through.
He's going to try to utilize the number 35 just ahead of him. It looks like he was able to do that. Does he run a bit too wide on the exit of 3? No, he doesn't. And he holds that position, Andrew. So both of them in tandem, getting those positions. Really good to see. Now they're going to have to work further if they want to find themselves in the top 10. This is McEwen. Looks like he's holding off Lars Fischer. This is for the 5th spot as well.
Lee Holmes and Sam Smith go back after it as Knox goes on by, but this is a little further up the road. Andy McEwen chasing Thor Tullo. Thor putting together a fantastic race number 4 today. Car 544. Looking absolutely great. Started third, got up to second pretty quickly. Holding his own around Sonoma as Lars Fischer squares up with Andy McEwen. This is for 5th, and this is exactly what Thor wants. He wants to see these two battle and give him a little extra time. There's only 6.5 minutes to go, so if McEwen and Fischer go back and forth, that allows Tullo to be just a little more relaxed in his defense.
Yeah, but you can see he cannot really be. He's only 0.3 of a second ahead of McEwen, so he really needs to capitalize on those two going side by side and wasting a lot of time if he does want a chance at holding this position for, well, until the end of the race. Currently, you can see he's holding his own. He's really backing off McEwen quite a bit, and that's allowing Lars Fischer to maybe go for moves in places where you wouldn't really expect, but as they head out of turn number 3, it's still very close, and I wonder if McEwen will throw a crazy move down the inside of number 4. As
Lee Holmes is parked in the, yeah, he's just had an issue. Let's let this battle come to fruition, though, as McEwen squares up with Thor Tullo. Down to the inside he will go, and he's got that spot in turn 5. That is for 4th position. Now Lars Fischer takes a look at it. Thor hangs on to the position for now. And James Neve, Jason Cooper, and the whole lot of them, they're starting to close in. Jason Cooper now with an issue.
Oh, an issue. He's going to cut
He's
the
not getting that third win. He's staying at exactly 500.
Yeah, looks like it. And he's stopping the car. No, he's going to be back to racing speed. So he's going to drop outside of the top 10. And it looks like the issue, Andrew, happened just outside of turn number 5.
This is Jason Cooper through turn 4. This is following James Neve. So just behind the battle we just watched through turn 5. Slide there, takes his turn in. Looks fine. Did he just... What? Is he out of fuel?
He pulls in the clutch. No way. No, he goes back to racing speed. Did he cut the corner by any chance?
He's parked now. He's got throttle there. Oh, technical issues. He is still parked on the racetrack. And only now it looks like, no, he has not escaped just yet. He is still parked on the racetrack. Technical issues here for Jason Cooper. This is live now.
Yeah, this is heartbreaking. You can see his wheel just certainly darts to the left, so it must mean, Andrew, that his wheel somehow disconnected. Now he gets it back working, but unfortunately, he's already a lap down. He's already, well, he's not going to be fighting for any positions for the time being. And unfortunately for him, well, starting from 13th place, Andrew, that's unlucky 13 for him. And, well, as you mentioned, he's going to be winning 50% of the races. As we cut back here, McEwen still fighting Fischer.
They've got James Neve there as well. Fischer goes to the right side, taking a look here at the position. Silkstone and DeCourt side by side across the line, almost contact there as well as they work through turn 1. Lars Fischer on the inside now for 2. McEwen around the outside. not able to defend. Maybe he is. Hangs on to the position.
Really good job by them. And look at Neve. He's trying to find any way sort of pass. He's going to have the inside through 3A, but he's going to cut back through 3B. Not close enough, Lars Fischer. This is a really good battle. As he cut ahead, that's Klibbins going really wide outside of turn 4. He's yielded that position. Looks like he lost the lead to McNally and now lost second place to Delmont. Everything is happening, Andrew, with 3 minutes to go.
Casper DeCourt still working on Liam Silkstone. This is through turn 5 now. You can see these two after it, nose to tail. Casper not letting this one go. He wants that 8th position, if not better. Dortillo is just ahead, so he's got to think about this. He's got to weigh the benefits and the consequences. He is about to have an effect on the Pro-Am battle for the race win. And hopefully, he's got the sense about him, the wits about him to hold back in this battle, I think. Or at least, you know, if he goes by Silkstone, that's one thing, but not hold Silkstone up in any way. He goes wide there in 10. Just got to be careful here. These two are going to battle for a race win. You do not want to mess that up.
Absolutely not, but he needs to be, well, he needs to be wary because Chris Knox is definitely going to be behind him if he just waits too long. But you can see he's already trying to move up ahead of Silkstone. So
if I'm Liam here, I might consider just, you know,
leaving him go, letting him go, and
no,
maybe just...
No. I'm trying to figure out how I want to put this. This is, oh man, Casper, come on! You can't drive him off the course! He's battling for a race win, Casper. You just won a race. I don't get it. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's just a lack of respect. If you're gonna go by him, you do it cleanly. If you're gonna hit him, that is a lack of respect. I'm sorry. I can't stay.
Well, cutting back ahead, we still have the number 4 holding off position number 4 from Lars Fischer just behind him. McEwen still holding that position with 1 minute and 20 to go, Andrew. Well, he's doing everything he can, and Fischer's doing everything he can as well to try to get past, and he's really close on the exit of the S's. You can see he darts a wheel into the gravel, into the dirt right beside him. He's going to have the outside lane. McEwen's going to have the inside. Number 96 goes really wide, and, well, that's not a way to do it. Gets really close to the concrete barriers, so he's going to have to hold that position as we might enter. Yes, we do. We enter the final lap of the race.
It is the final lap, and XA Energy teammates are about to battle up front. Adam, I keep wanting to say Andy McNally and Andy Delmont. I don't know why, but Adam McNally and Adam Delmont are nose to tail, separated by a couple of car lengths. They work through turns 3 and 3A, back up over the hill. Plenty of gap back to their teammate Nick Klibbins, as McEwen's still got to worry about Fischer just behind. These guys up over 3A now as well. Oh, and Andy gets way out there into the dirt. Hangs on to it. What can Delmont do here? This is for the race win.
He's going to have to line up a move, obviously, on the exit of the S, as that's where the place we're seeing the most amount of moves, the biggest number of moves happening on the S6. He needs to really close in this gap, Andrew. McNally really needs to hold his composure for the time being, really only for a few extra corners. This is exactly what he doesn't need. That's really going to allow the number 77 to close up to the back of his teammate. We might see a bit of action on the hairpin. Who's going to come out on top, the number 78 or the number 77?
Down to the hairpin for the final time. Delmont, not deep at all. Doesn't get there, and it's going to be McNally, I think, right back to the line. Yes, it is. Delmont had an opportunity. Doesn't get dirty, doesn't get rough with his teammate, and Casper DeCourt and Tortillo go side by side in the final corner. But it is all Adam McNally up ahead. Oh, they made it fun there at the line. Klibbins comes through for 3rd, McEwen 4th, Fischer 5th, Neve 6th. Tortillo does get Casper at the line. No, he does not, actually. He does revert, but Tortillo wins in Pro-Am. It's a shame we didn't have a battle for that race win. Craig Schill will finish 11th and take the amateur win. Alistair Hatcher will go 2nd in amateur once he comes across the line. He's next up, it looks like.
Yeah, really good race overall. A really fun one. Lots of things happen. Andrew Cooper really getting unlucky with his, looks like, hardware. A great few battles for the lead. Amazing results from Pro-Am and amateur class as well. A really good race day overall, isn't it?
It is. Jason Cooper, unfortunately, going to take a big hit in the points. Unfortunately for him, though, it's exactly what the rest of the field needs. They need a couple of reminders, I suppose, that Jason Cooper is human, or at least that his get this,
That his hardware belongs to human.
That his equipment is human and has issues from time to time. So just like we had technical difficulties getting race 4 off the ground here for the broadcast, he had technical difficulties just just continuing on with the race. And it's a good reminder that even equipment can be human at times. Let's go ahead and check out the unofficial race results from race number 4.
Adam McNally holds off his teammate to finish just pretty much 1.5 tenths of a second ahead of him. Adam Delman in second place, Nick Clibbins in third place. Andrew McHugh in the car number 4 is going to finish in 4th position ahead of Lars Fischer. James Neve is going to finish in 6th place ahead of Casper DeCour. Thorpe Tulo is going to finish in 8th place, winning the Pro-Am class ahead of Liam Stokeston in 2nd place on his class. And Chris Knox Andrew is going to round off our top 10.
Finishing 11th, you'll find car 982, an amateur winner, Craig Schill, another one this season. Liam Simpson comes across in 12th. That is 3rd in Pro-Am. That is James Clark and Alistair Hatcher, 13th, 14th. Sam Smith takes the top 15. Mark Oliver goes 16th. Fiona Sidden 17th. Jason Cooper 18th. Michael Seal 19th. And Lee Holmes wraps up your top 20 in the 5 laps down. Seal goes 2 laps down. Cooper 1 lap down at the end there. 2 other cars finish, don't finish rather. Glenn Humberstone 21st and Ben Sharp 22nd. JP, that is 4 races done out of the way here at the Sonoma Raceway, and there are some drivers lined up. Let's go ahead and lead off with our race winner from race 4. It's Adam McNally.
So Adam, finishing, I guess, the day on the best way possible. How fun was it tackling the MX-5 around Sonoma?
Really hard. I struggled quite a lot with pace, to be honest with you. But that last race, I found it so much easier not being able to see where I could go than I did when I could see where I was going.
And how does it work? How does it, using the headlights instead of natural light, how did they help you?
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, no idea. Like I said, I had no pace all for the first 3 races, and that last race just seemed to click. And it must have been, couldn't see where I was going helps. Maybe a blindfold next week.
Absolutely. And how fun was the battle with your teammates on the final few laps of the race?
Yeah, great. See, I didn't really want to go for a move on Nick. I was happy to sit behind, but he chucked it off. So I thought, well, if the door's open, I might as well go for it. And then I hit the wall on the last lap, on the last corner, the second to last lap on the last corner. Too busy watching where Delmont was, and then allowed him to close right up. And I thought he might have had a lunge in that last corner.
Well, I mean, I guess that sums it up. It was a pretty good final race. Let's put it that way. You finished off the day the best way possible. How do you look forward to next week?
Just the same as any really. Just get out, do some laps, and you've got to do laps just to try and find the pace like Cooper's got. Because the past few weeks I haven't been able to get practice in, and it's shown in me qualifying times, and that's hurting us in the race.
Well, absolutely. I'm pretty sure we all need to find a bit of a shortcut in the race to get back to Cooper's pace, because it just seems insane. But with that being said, McNally, I guess. With that being said, Adam, I guess I can call you Adam. I mean,
whatever.
You just won race number 4. You sound pretty happy. Hopefully, you can do it more next week, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I've just got to apologise to Michael for race 3 where I gave him that little tag. But it just happens that his internet wasn't the best, but still as an excuse, giving him that tap and turn them round.
Well, absolutely. And with that being said, I'm gonna let you focus for next week, and hopefully we can talk to you then.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Andrew, that was Adam McNally, the driver of the number 78. I mean, you need to be happy if you win race number 4.
Gotta be happy if you win any race in any class. We're gonna keep the next 2 kind of quick, but we do have Adam Delmont alongside, who doesn't quite win that race. Adam, what happened there at the end? You almost had that opportunity. Adam, you, Adam, the other Adam. Anyways, McNally got a little bit offline. You had just maybe an opportunity, but it looks like you held back a little bit in turn 11.
Yeah, it was a bit of a running joke as I was catching him. We were talking obviously while we were racing, and I was doing the Jaws theme as I was catching him, and I told him that if I caught him before it finished, I'm going for it. And then as we got to hairpin, I jinked out to go for it, and I could have done, to be fair, because I did have the overspeed, but I thought I backed back out and went, I'll let you have it. It's been a while on it. But a top, Excite 1, 2, 3. I'm still happy enough for that. It's a good team result.
Oh, absolutely. Bringing Nick along with that top three, it's got to feel pretty good. Got to boost confidence, especially going into a string of racetracks that it sounds like you guys might not know a whole lot of. Sounds like a lot of you guys maybe purchased Sonoma for the first time this week. What about Road America next week?
No, I'm well accustomed to Road America. It's going to be a bit of a draft fest, but yeah, you know, draft fest brings closer racing, so yeah, should be good. It's a nice wide circuit as well, fast, flowing. So yeah, it should be a good do.
Hey, fair enough, Adam. Thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the top three here to end the day. Team X-Lite, you guys seem to be doing things pretty nicely here this season. Keep it up next week, Road America. We'll see you there.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
So Adam Delmont with a really solid second place finish. Move things on down the line, though, to his teammate Nick Clibbins, who completes the trifecta of X-Lite Energy cars atop the podium.
So Nick, it was also close for you in 2 races. How does it feel to just hit the post on race number 2 especially?
Yeah, it's been a hard night, put it that way. Just trying to stay in front is so difficult. But yeah, I've enjoyed that.
Absolutely, and obviously on race number 2, it was all looking so well. How difficult is it to hold back, the number 1, especially on the final lap, coming up to the final corner?
Yeah, I was kicking myself with that one. I literally braked and yeah, nothing really happened. So I was a bit gutted, but at least I kept P2. That I was panicking about losing the podium, to be fair. But yeah, it was a bit gutting, that one.
And on race number 4, on the beginning of the race you were leading, but unfortunately you finished 3rd place. What happened with you?
Story of my night, really. I messed up a little bit. So I went wide on one of the corners, let Adam through, because I was like, let Manali through. I was like, he's there, I'll let him go. And then I done it again, and let Adam again through.
Oh, that's a bit unfortunate, but well, that was Sonoma for you. Now looking towards Road America, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's another track I quite like, so fingers crossed I can sort of repeat tonight's performance, really.
Oh,
but we'll see.
And how do you feel in qualifying, especially with your teammates? Are you going to be trying something special, especially the long straightaways?
Oh, you have to wait and see on that one, I think.
Oh, okay. You're going to do me like that. Well, that's perfect, Nick. We're definitely going to keep an eye out on you and your teammates upcoming next week. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to wish you the best of luck and hopefully can talk to you by the end of 4 races on Road America.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And well, Andrew, that was Nick Clibbins. Unfortunately, came 2nd on race number 2. And well, came 3rd on race number 4. A good day for him. Unfortunately, did not get that so elusive winning position.
A good day of racing comes to a close today at the Sonoma Raceway, but next up, it's the Elkhart Lakes Road America. That's going to be fun. I think, what was it, Delmont that mentioned the draft battles we're going to have next week, and it doesn't matter if it's the Miatas or the touring cars. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Touring cars might be a little more strung out. They might be, of course, they're bigger cars, but certainly at least these Miatas going to have draft battles at Road America, certainly even Watkins Glen, Daytona, probably, potentially, well, maybe even Sebring. I think Canadian Tire and Road Atlanta might be a couple of separators there in the draft battles. Even Road Atlanta could still have a few here and there, but we're going to have some pack racing next week for these Trophy Tuesday, fellas. It's going to be a lot of fun next Tuesday, April the 19th. Let's go ahead and see what comes up, though, on Pit Stop TV after today. We took a little bit of a look at this earlier on, JP, but this is what we've got here on the week slate at Pit Stop TV, at least the next 3 broadcasts. It is the Outlaw Sim Series paired up with the IRL IndyCar Series tomorrow evening, side by side, one at Iowa, one at Michigan, and then Thursday, of course, come right back here to Sonoma with BSR TC before North American Racing League comes back on Thursday on Thursday this week. There we go, 8:30 Eastern. They will be at Circuit Zolder, which is going to be a lot of fun. Great racing the entire week.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be fantastic to see each and every single race. Obviously, we're going to have NASCAR, IndyCar, and obviously touring cars, and after that, GT3. I'm pretty sure we have almost every road side and a bit of the oval side as well covered. But obviously, to follow that, you need to follow us on social media at facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_, on instagram.com/pit_stop_tv, and on youtube.com/pitstoptv1.
That will do it for us here at the Sonoma Raceway. Just fantastic racing through and through. The nice thing about these courses is, especially when a lot of these drivers don't really know them at first, yeah, you have those exceptions to the rule, like Jason Cooper certainly has been all season long, and even going back to last season, but you have a lot of guys that are new to a course for the first time, that they haven't gotten as many laps here before, and they've got to learn it a little bit on the fly. They might get a little bit of practice in beforehand and get the idea down, but you've got to learn a lot on the fly, and it certainly puts these guys on their back foot. They've got to challenge themselves throughout the course of the race, and I think it makes a little better racing oftentimes. What do you expect, personally, at Road America next week?
Oh, I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be really hard for one driver to really break away from the field, which really should bunch up everybody. If we have a few separate groups, I think that's gonna make it a bit more interesting, as not everybody's gonna be benefiting, but it's gonna be no mistakes allowed, Andrew. I think, if you make a mistake on Road America, you're gonna be losing a whole bunch of spots, and your race might as well be over. So I expect a high stakes race.
So one more round done and dusted for the BSR MX-5, gentlemen and ladies. That is round number 4 in the books for him. Jason Cooper, another 2 wins. A big congratulations goes out as well to Casper DeCourt and Adam McNally for their overall wins, and of course the Pro-Am and Am class winners in between. I do also need to give a big happy birthday to somebody that's about to give me daggers through the back of my head, my girlfriend Kayla Rondeau. Happy 21st. As yes, I'm getting quite the look currently. So we'll just wrap this one up. Happy birthday to her. Congratulations to our winners today. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow evening for Outlaws Sim Series action from the Iowa Speedway and IRL IndyCar action from the Michigan International Speedway. 2 great races at the same time. And again, if you can double up at the same time, I certainly invite you to do so. 2 monitors or 2 devices, whatever you got to do. We hope you're watching both. We'll see you there. Until then, have a great night.